Now, as we just mentioned, the Greek Prime Minister's decision to hold a referendum on that latest bailout deal has shaken world markets.
For more, ABC correspondent Rachel Brown joins us from London. Rachel, great for you to join us this morning. Now, it's fair to say this one has come completely out of left field.
This one is as much out of left field as I think the Qantas decision was, Michael. No European leader can believe this, and it's thrown world markets, as you mentioned before, into turmoil. The Greek market itself was the worst, down 7%. The Italian market wasn't far behind that at 6.8%. And then the German and French markets were both down above 5%. And I also understand the American markets have taken a beating. So this is quite a shock announcement. His opposition is calling it blackmail, and the Athens Chamber of Commerce has said it's suicide.
Why has the Greek government done this? What is George Papandreou telling the media as to the reasoning behind this?
Some of the commentators are saying that he's effectively handballing the problem, that he knows he's going to be perceived badly for accepting this deal, so he's handballing it to the people. But they've already made it crystal clear they don't want these austerity measures, which are the trade-off for the rescue plan. And the rescue plan includes a 50% haircut or a write-down on Greek bonds and a new loan of $173 billion. Now, to get that, the austerity measures the people are having to go through, they've already said loud and clear, as you would have seen from the large-scale protest this year, they don't want it. So it's pretty clear what the outcome of the referendum will be. So most commentators are saying, well, George Papandreou is just shifting the blame to the people.
And if that referendum does go down, as many people are indeed predicting, what are we expecting? Greece to default and another serious outbreak of financial unrest in Europe?
Exactly. It's set to send the Greek debt into freefall, into another abyss that they were warning about last year. The European leaders, were hoping to avoid that. And 5 days ago, it looked like it was a done deal. So this shock announcement has thrown everything back into chaos.
Now, let's move on to the other big story in your patch, and that, of course, is a British court finding guilty those two Pakistani cricketers of match fixing.
Exactly. Salman Butt and Mohammed Asif have been found guilty of accepting corrupt payments and cheating. We also learnt today that the other fast bowler, Mohammed Amir, had also pleaded guilty 2 weeks ago. So now those three players could be looking at sentences of up to 7 years. And big questions are going to be asked of the International Cricket Council as to why it took an undercover journalist to bring this to light. It was through a sting of the player's agent, Mazir Majid, who was caught on camera saying when the no balls would be bowled, and then surprise, surprise, the next day they were bowled at exactly the times that he'd specified. So the big question now turns to the ICC and why their practices aren't tough enough, and whether more needs to be done, more player education, more investment in anti-corruption funds, and perhaps to look at regulation as a whole of betting on the subcontinent to make sure that practices don't lead to situations like this. But it's a shameful day for Pakistan. We've been hearing from politicians that the nation feels disgraced, and indeed it'll send shockwaves through cricket throughout the world, which is already experiencing significant turndowns in test attendances because of these corruption cases.
Lots of challenges, and we'll be having much more on this in sport a bit later on. Rachel Brown in London, thanks very much.
Thank you.